Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about the Tick Season 1, Episode 3. It's called Secret Slash Identity. The slash just being an actual slash and not a word that's in the middle of the title, for the record.
I'm
Full
not sure that
spoilers.
needed to be said, but
Just in case. So full spoilers for the episode, as always. Do you know what I'll say about this? I think it's very interesting how it really feels super serialized. Like, almost to the point where there's not even like, I mean, there's kind of episode stories going on, but it's very like, this feels so bingeable. Like, they've put
yeah.
out 6 episodes, and I feel like, if I wasn't stopping to like talk about them in between, I could very easily just watch the whole thing in one sitting.
Which is why I'm a little bit concerned about getting to the end of this with it not being a full season.
I think they knew about that though, so I feel like they've set up some mysteries, and I feel like we'll get maybe the answer to one of them is the cliffhanger at the end of episode 6, and that'll be the big
Is
thing.
hoping.
But that would be my guess, is that we'll find out. That's when they'll confirm if the terror's actually still alive, or even something to set up in this one where the Tick doesn't actually know who he is because he doesn't remember anything past the past few days.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously they told us pretty definitively that he is real,
Oh, they have, yeah, absolutely.
but then they're still kind of doing these things where they almost want it to play as if he wasn't.
Well, no, I feel like in this one he's interacting with a lot more people. Like, he's in the shop and there's like
Yeah,
the
no,
shop
that's true.
owners like talking to him. I feel there's a lot more in this episode that felt like, no, we've put that aside. Um, I feel like when he shows up at the side of the building when Arthur's working, to me that felt like less like they were pretending he's imaginary and more like it's just Arthur's trying to hide him because he specifically makes him move over to the one with the
Yeah, yeah.
with the drapes or the
Blind.
blind. Thank you. I was lost my word there for a second. But anyway, so yeah, he brings up this thing where he doesn't actually remember who he is before all this, because obviously this episode it starts with this great little montage of him talking about how he doesn't like secret identities, like it's just there's little references to Batman and Superman and like like I don't want to be this billionaire or this mailman or something or other like I'm just who I am, and it sets up this idea that there's this law in place for superheroes in this world where they're protected. If they get like arrested for something, they don't have to be forced to take off the mask. Like, it's their right.
Yeah, yeah. It was a new amendment, wasn't it, on the
Yeah, I remember
Constitution?
28, I think it
28,
was.
I think it was. Yeah.
But it's this thing. So Arthur uses this after he's arrested after the end of the last episode, where who we find out the character's name is Overkill. This Robo Ninja, as the cop keeps calling him,
I'm
uh,
calling him not Deadshot.
not Deadshot. So he's at the police station, and we have some fun stuff set up where they're like, okay, you're a superhero, you're enabling Article 28. Where's your ID number? Like you're registered as a superhero, and he's like 9 7.
He's like, sorry, it's been a while since I've been asked.
Yeah. But then they get the security footage and they know like Overkill's like he's a name. They know who he is. Like this is serious business. So they just let him go because okay, you're obviously telling the truth, even if maybe you're not actually a superhero, but everything else you told us about the incident is correct. So yeah, off you go.
Yeah.
Run along. So yeah, we set this idea up that the Tick doesn't know who he is. So secret identity is a big theme, especially since the episode is largely about Arthur trying to have a normal life. Outside
Right.
of, I mean, he tries to give it up completely, but you can tell he can't quite because he keeps like, when the Tick keeps running into him at the start, and in the store and stuff, and like the store owner's there, and he's complaining, "Get your big blue friend out of here." Like, okay, he's arguing with him, he's telling him to go away, but then he's like, "Yeah, but if you are going to look for the terror, maybe you should look for this Overkill first." And
Yeah.
look for him. Like he can't help but offer his input, and it's like I
Right.
mean, obviously, by the end of the episode, he's like, okay, look, I'll help you. I'll get I'll be the brains, but he's trying to like also have a normal job, and his sister takes him to work. She's trying to like. She's cared, but she thinks he's going crazy, or he's always been crazy, and she's trying to like get him back in a normal life. So she's kind of being like, "Oh, hanging around with that blue guy seems like a bad influence," you know.
Yes, that big blue bastard. Joe, I was really noticing this episode how much his antenna move.
Yeah, I think that was with the new suit. I don't think that was in the pilot.
I don't remember it in
Yeah,
the pilot.
I think.
And I
Yeah,
don't think I really noticed it in the second episode. I'm sure it was there, but it dawned on me in this one, as they were just having a conversation, just how animated they are.
yeah, which is cool. It's this little quirky little
Yeah, it's nice.
thing that adds on to it. But I like again I like the relationship with the brother and sister. The side of Dot, and again there was that fun little thing when they were getting their names wrong with each other. It's like, oh, that must be Spot, and like, no, it's Dot.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, we get a little bit of character building for them, or maybe character building is not quite the right word, but we find out about their stepdad whose birthday's coming up. So I'm assuming we're gonna get this, but we find out their stepdad's kind of weird, and he always asks about your feet, like how's your
Yeah.
feet doing? You keep taking care of your feet. You know, that's his interest for some reason.
Strange man.
I'm looking forward to meeting this stepdad.
Okay. Strange, but okay.
No, that's what I can't wait because they've set it up now. I can't wait until they walk into the room and his first thing is, "Oh, how's your feet? Did you walk here? Like, are they
Uh,
sweaty? Keeping good care of them."
yeah. Yeah, no, that's what he's saying.
I
It'd
just
be funny.
not. I can see
It's all down to the delivery, though, I think, on that one. Isn't
it
it?
is, but to be fair, they've not flubbed any of the jokes so far. So
No, no, that's fair. No reason to doubt it.
yeah, I mean, this episode was funny again. Like I was cracking up.
Definitely.
Probably the funniest I well, actually, there was two really good moments. So we established in I think it was the pilot. We established that the shop owner like gives out money to the gang. Like they've all got the Ramses tattoo in their eyes, like
Yeah,
around their
'cause I
eyes.
don't remember this.
As I say in the first episode, where they go in and it's basically just the racket was like, oh, protection money. You have to give us money, or we'll wreck your store, kind of thing.
Amusing. I will say I got it from context here. What was going on, but I
Oh,
don't
sure.
remember that at all.
It was just a quick thing because Arthur was in the store at the time and he kind of like gets uncomfortable that it's happening. It's like this little moment. Whereas here he comes in, the tech just slaps his hand down. He's like, "No, you keep your money." And oh, what was his name? It was a really Goat. Was it Goat?
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's name's Goat, and he's like, "No, you keep your money, Goat. I'll take care of this." And there's a really funny moment where the one gangster pulls out his gun, shoots the tech, and it just ricochets into the other guy's shoulder. And he's like, "What the f?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I could have predicted that." Like it was just, that line really cracked me up.
Yeah. And that whole bit was, when they leave and
Oh
Goat's
yeah,
like,
this
"Here,
line.
take
I
your
love this
money,
line.
please."
No, actually, I just remembered my favourite line of the entire episode. It's at the end of this scene. The text, because the shop owner is like, "Oh no, but no, they're going to come back. They're going to kill me now." He's like, "Not on my watch. Gotta go. See you later." Like, that
Kill me.
line cracked me up so much. It was just such a perfect delivery of, "Oh, not on my watch. I need to go though." So
My watch has ended.
yeah, it was just really good. And the other thing that was really cracking me up is so near the start is when Arthur goes home. And he goes into his apartment, and there's some fun little stuff. They play with him, sort of like sneaking around, thinking there might be someone dangerous in the apartment. So he's like sort of creeping around corners, like seeing what he can see. But he comes in, he's sort of like surveying the damage from the fight from the last couple of episodes, and Miss Lint shows up, and she's like basically she's like because obviously she thinks the terror's dead as well, and she loves him and all that. So she's like, why are you looking for the terror? And later on, when she's with Ramsey, she even like lies about knowing who had the suit. Like so,
Yeah.
she's interested in his search for the terror. She is also curious about this, but she like she shocks him in the head and all that, and she's like giving him little spark jolts, and she's like up in his face and he's threatening him, and the entire time there's just these bits of lint like falling down around her. And my favourite is because obviously there's one point she just like smacks a bit of it away because it's getting in her face, but there's a bit that goes on a glass eye, and it's there for the next like couple of lines of dialogue, and it's just sitting in the glass eye the entire time, and it was cracking me up.
And he's staring at it as well.
Yeah, it's like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, no, nothing.
Yeah, definitely not some lint.
Yeah, and she knocks him out, and he has this weird dream where he's like, he sees his dad as a kid, and I liked how this cut between him as a kid and him as an adult, and his kid's
Yeah,
clothes.
it really kind of showed how fragmented his mind can be.
Yeah, and then his dad turned into the Terror, which I don't know if that's a hit. We got a really cool comment actually on the last episode about like, could the tech actually be his dad, but like. Or since the Terror's missing, could the Terror be his dad? And I don't know if either of them are, but I think it's very interesting that in this episode they set up the idea that the tech doesn't know who he is, like before now, that he was someone else.
Yeah, and he finds himself comfortable around Arthur. He's like
Yeah.
he thinks he's kind of fuzzy. I think he's fuzzy when he's not around him.
Yeah, because I remember one of the things we said last episode. So they confirmed outright, no, he is definitely not imaginary. He is
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
But the one thing that was still sort of a sticking point was, well, there was that weird flashback where you could hear the tech's voice coming from like in his room.
Yeah.
which is one of the big scenes that implied to us. Oh no, maybe he is imaginary, so it's like, okay, so why is that then? Like, what
But
explains that?
alternatively, I would argue this dream sequence kind of could play off it. You know, the idea that he's inserted himself as an adult into this memory in this dream,
Hmm.
and obviously we know he's somewhat unstable, and you know that's why he's on medication. So maybe he's kind of inserted this into a memory in the same sort of way.
Ah, that's fair. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. That's
I
that
mean,
is yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
know,
sense to me.
just because he's worried he's losing his mind. He's like, oh, what if? And he's kind of
No,
get away with it and kind of tricks himself
it's fair
almost.
because that scene when that flashback happens in the first episode, it's after he's met the tick, and it's like, it's after stuff has happened and he's trying to sleep and the stuff comes back up. So it actually completely makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
the tick's on his mind, so then it starts to like feed into his old dreams. Kind of like hear how the danger and like the terror showing up to like mess with him is like kind of feeding into his head.
Right, because we see it a few times, don't we?
Yeah, so I can see that being a recurring thing. Actually, that may be why. So that's just pretty cool. But it does beg the question though. I think the favourite for who the tick is could be his dad years later, maybe. Obviously, it
Yeah.
looks different, and there'd be a reason. But again, if a ship landed on him, then maybe he had some plastic surgery, and because I'm just my justification for that guess is that, well, that's kind of almost like what could be an origin story, like the ship
Yeah.
lands on you, but there's some weird radioactive stuff that's leaking out, which actually reminds me of another funny scene that I really liked on the TV. The shop owner's watching it, and it's what's his face, Superior, and he's like, there's these two kids that are like, oh, it's like radio, it's glowing. This goo might give us powers, and he like steps, is like, no, kids, just because it's glowing doesn't mean it's actually going to give you superpowers. It's probably just giving you cancer.
It's it's moments like that where it rides this line of its comedy just being really dark at times. But obviously, so much of it is just light and upbeat, and you know, the Tick himself especially kind of encapsulates that.
I'm digging it.
But then you have those sorts of jokes and overkill going around killing folks.
I think you have that. You have the over the top violence, but then you have it shot kind. It's almost shot. I mean, it's got a very sort of '90s superhero thing going for it, but I'd almost put it similar to like a noir. And stick with me, the way it like transitions from scenes, and it's the music I think as well. It's that like
Yeah,
the sort of horns,
I
the
think
saxophones, and the music.
it's a little bit too brightly lit for me to really think of it as a noir.
Yeah, I don't think the story's a noir. I just think there's a few little tricks in the editing that make me
Yeah, no,
remind
no,
me of
I can see what you're saying now you've
yeah.
mentioned it.
The transitions, the way it sort of keeps going to like exterior shots of the city, as if the city's like a big part, like because quite often in a noir, like it's detectives are part of the city and like
Yeah,
walking the
yeah.
streets and like. I think the big part for me in this one along those lines was at the start when he's walking back to the apartment. It was this shot low down, looking up at Arthur as he's walking down the street, and it was like, he's out in the
Yeah,
night,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
On
kind
the
of thing.
prowl.
But he's actually scared shitless, and he's got a poncho on covered in blood.
Right.
So again, it's playing with these kind of ideas, but then flipping it. And I guess because he is investigating something. He's got the big, he's got all the pins and the board and the photographs and all that. So there's at least kind of that
He kind
element.
of is that detective almost.
Yeah. But he's in a world full of superheroes.
Yeah.
So no. No. I thought it was another solid episode. Obviously, there's some more stuff with Dot. Like the guy was like again repairing this bullet wound from the guy in the store, and like that's when she hears it was a big blue guy, and it's like that's kind of her final moment with her. Is like she's like, wait a minute, that blue guy, I know who that is.
Yeah.
So
There was a lot of bits, like, when you're like, why are you taking it out? Leave it in. You'll make it worse. You've been watching too much TV.
yeah,
Like, that's cool.
no,
And
it's got a lot of good things like that.
the other line that really cracked me up, the one that really got to me, even though it was a small one, like, it was when the Tick comes back in and Overkill's there at the end. And he was like, I was just off to look after the city, and I heard the unmistakable sound of a grappling gun fly past me.
Yeah, well, I actually really like that exit because Arthur sends him on a little mission to go and try and find Overkill, and there's a pretty fun little CG shots of him like bouncing around on top of the buildings, and then Overkill like zip lines into the building and sets everything off, and but I liked all that exit. So the final fight was pretty fun though, especially when he was like just sort of like grabbing his antennas and throwing them into
It's
the
like, ow,
walls and
that's
stuff.
sensitive.
That was good stuff. And we end on the sort of cliffhanger that the tick's been thrown out the window, and that's kind of where we end. Another small moment I really like though is when Arthur gets to the job. And his boss is like, "Oh, we're glad to have you here. We're overworked. Now we had to double up everyone on desks, and you weren't here yesterday when we picked our desk partners. So unfortunately, you're with this guy. I can't remember his name, but
Jurgen.
was it Jar? There you go,
It
Jurgen.
was Jurgen, because then the guy was like, "It's Jurgen, by the way."
That's right, you're right. There's a whole thing made out of it. But he sits down, it's like, okay, he seems like a douche, but there must be more to why no one wants to sit with this guy. And then within about 3 seconds, he starts talking about fake news and how everyone's lying to
And
him,
then he literally, like, Arthur wakes up from,
and he's still talking.
the,
Yeah,
the dream. He's still going on about conspiracy theories. It's like,
yeah,
oh my God, shut up.
yeah. This is why everyone
No,
hates
no
him.
wonder he fell asleep.
Yeah, yeah. I like though when he goes to see the tick at the window, he's like, "I've only been here an hour." And I'm like, "You fell asleep in the first hour at work, Arthur. You're a great employee." I mean, I know Jurgen's annoying, but still.
Petition to still just call him Jurgen.
Sure. Do you know what I like? I like that he talks a lot, so you could almost alter it to jargon. That's why he's called Jurgen,
Yeah, that's good.
because he just spouts jargon all the time. I don't know. It's a stretch.
Might as well just call him bullshit though.
So no. So where have we left? Well, so Tick, mysterious past. He doesn't know who he was before the previous few days, but he's drawn to Arthur for some reason. Right. That's bullet point one. Dot is still concerned. She now knows that the Tick's doing actual crime fighting stuff. So I imagine she's going to go and talk to Arthur next episode and try and like no, stay away from that guy. He's dangerous. Blah 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 blah. So we got that. We have the fact that Miss Slint is interested in the search for the terror, even though she believes he's dead. Like, she brings it up, but then when Ramses brings it up, she kind of throws it back in his face. He's like, yeah, the teeth, sure.
Also, what actually happened to Arthur's suit?
Yeah, because I mean, I think it was after the scene where it disappeared, because it was after the Miss Lint scene. I assume she took it.
Right, but then she plays like she didn't, but maybe she's just playing that to Ramses and she does actually have it.
Yeah, I think she might have it, but she's withholding it for whatever reason. Of course,
But we never see her with it, so which is
Yeah.
why it never confirms it outright.
Yeah, so it's interesting. But I don't know. But again, I think it's interesting that a show like this, that is a lot of it is comedy, a lot of it is these things. There are actually good sort of psychological character arcs going on, especially with Arthur.
Yeah.
The other character motivations make some sense, but it's also got a couple of good little mysteries going on, namely the terror and like who is the Tick.
Yeah.
Is the Tick the reformed terror? Did he become a good guy?
Oh, that's not bad.
But because even though he lost all his memory and who he was, he remembers that day, seeing him there eat the ice cream, and he's like drawn to him because of that.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that he says he can only remember the last few days, like since this specifically started.
Yeah, you get the feeling that when he showed up in the first episode behind him, that was like the start of this.
That's kind of his first memory.
Like he just woke up before that.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting.
yeah, I'm deeply curious. So I feel like one of those mysteries will have that as a cliffhanger in episode 6. But I mean, I'm just guessing. But
Won't take us too long to find out.
no, it will not. We will be back. We should be back with another episode, another review tomorrow. So keep a lookout. But hopefully you're enjoying this. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mildfuzztv and you can have a look at what's on offer over there. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you very much once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?